Okay, so we're back in game, and we're going to go over here now, and you'll see that our two gray cloaks are spawned from the Legend Spawn plugin. This one should stand guard, do a whole lot of nothing. This one here should start his patrol route. So we'll wait for that, and there he goes. So as you can see, this is the exact same creature blueprint. We don't have any differences, but they're behaving differently because they're inheriting their AI from the spawn point versus placing it directly on their creature blueprint. And this allows us to have less creature blueprints and have to manage less blueprints and simply update spawn points. So if I want to have an entire camp of creatures doing different things, I don't need 4 or 5 blueprints. I don't need a goblin archer versus a goblin fighter kind of thing. I can have them all be just goblins with different behavior. Now, as you can see, it changed from daytime to evening, and just as we instructed, when evening rolls around, we wanted him to go back to that spawn point that we had configured. So he actually is finished patrolling now, and he's gone back to that spawn point that we told him to go back to, simply because it's now nighttime and there's no more patrol to do. And of course, the other gray cloak, he hasn't moved since he spawned. He's just going to stand there and stay like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to go back in in the toolset, and off camera I'm going to replace all of these guys with Legend Spawn plugins because it's a little bit easier and demonstrate the next part. And I'll do that off camera, so next time we go back to the toolset we'll see a whole bunch of spawn points down for all of these NPCs. Alright, we'll see you back there in a moment. Okay, so we're back in the tool set, and as you can see here, I've got all of the NPCs removed and replaced with waypoints from the Legend Spawn plugin. And in this part of the walkthrough, we're actually going to demonstrate NPCs that want to go to sleep at night. So you could have a village with a bunch of NPCs walking around during the day. Nighttime rolls around, they could lay down, go to sleep, wake up in the morning and start walking around again, kind of thing. So we're going to use Duncan and Dario for this. These are their waypoints here. So I can change the localized name or description or whatever to be able to help identify what waypoint is which. So I know which one is which here. So this one is Dario. So we're going to simply select him and fire up the AI plugin and select spawn point. And we're going to change the spawn in condition to sleep at night. So we'll set that here, and as you can see, the sleep chance box opens up, and for this demonstration I'm just going to put in 100%. This is basically useful if you want to have NPCs that don't necessarily sleep when night rolls around. This is the chance that they'll actually go to sleep. So we'll hit finish, and we'll do the same thing for Duncan. Now I know that some NPCs have a little animation issue, and they kind of lie down and go to sleep, and then for some reason they kind of stand up again. I've noticed a lot of quirks in the animations throughout the toolset, so sometimes you have to be aware of that. You'll be able to tell which ones are asleep pretty easily, but we'll show that. So we're going to go back in game, and I'm going to set the clock ahead a little bit to 1 minute before nighttime rolls around, so that we don't have to wait too long for these guys to actually go to sleep. And we'll do that in game and see you in there in a moment. Okay, so we're back in game, and we're going to have a quick run over here. You can see all my NPCs there have spawned, and there we go. Just getting a little fraps lag there. And it's nighttime. Well, it's not quite nighttime. It is dusk, so our first gray cloak guy here won't actually patrol. But as you can see, it did roll around to 1 minute, and Dario and Duncan here kind of fell asleep where they were. Dario kind of fell into the fire here, and you can see see some Z's kind of floating over their heads. as they sleep. So they'll stay that way until the morning and wake up then. There is one thing to note, that if there was a battle here, if someone tried to, if these were enemies and somebody came up and tried to kill one, they would probably wake up the other one. This is the animation thing I was telling you about. It happens just kind of randomly. He is still asleep. You'll see Z's kind of floating around him. But sometimes the animation kind of whacks out. Hey, if anybody out there happens to be watching this video and you know why it does that, it's not a play animation or an action play animation or play custom animation. It's actually just effect sleep. So it's not using, I'm not specifying a CEF file or anything like that. I'm just applying the effect sleep on there. But it happens sometimes. Sometimes this guy will stay down for the whole duration, and for some reason sometimes it does that. But he is asleep, and I also find it on some character models they actually won't lay down too, so it could be Adario's character model is just not susceptible to the animation. But there it is, they are pretending to be asleep there, and you can have some NPCs do that. So one downside to what we just did is wherever the NPC happens to be at the time it's time for them to go to sleep, they'll just kind of drop there and go to sleep, and sometimes we may not necessarily want that. So I'm going to go back into the tool set and show how we can get around that. So I'm going to go back into the tool set and set that up for you. So we'll see you there in a second. Okay, so we're back in the tool set, and as I mentioned before, we don't really want Adario and Duncan to kind of just fall asleep wherever they happen to be. If Duncan is heading over here to this stop waypoint where he likes to go, he could fall asleep in the middle of the road. We don't want that. If Adario is wandering around outside the camp here, we don't want him kind of laying down in the grass. So we can get around that simply by going into our blueprints under waypoints, and under Legends AI again there is a sleep waypoint. So we can place one or more of these around, just kind of one there and kind of one there, like that. And what will happen is when it's time for sleep, the NPCs who are configured to go to sleep at night will actually stop whatever they're doing and find one of these sleep points. It's a random decision they'll make which one they'll choose, but they'll choose one. A couple of guys might go to the same one, they might go to different ones. It's kind of up to them, and they'll actually head there, and when they get there they'll go to sleep there instead of out in the middle of the road kind of thing. So I'm gonna fire up the game again and just quickly show that once more, and we'll see. Hopefully we'll get Duncan and Adario to wander around out here and see them walk back to the camp when it's time for sleep. So we'll see you in game. Okay, so we're back in game and our NPCs just spawned. I did set the time back 2 minutes to give the NPCs a chance to wander around a little bit. Again, we're not going to see the Grey Cloak go to his daytime patrol route because technically it is evening, so he's going to kind of stay where he is at his nighttime post. So, but we will see Adario and Duncan wander around a little bit. Duncan is, again, he's still choosing or have an increased desire to kind of wander around between those two stop points. And again, I could have 3 or 4 of those laying around to give him some more choices on where he goes, so it doesn't look like he's kind of just going between 2 points. And we'll see Adario, he's just going to wander aimlessly around a bit. So we'll see that. And we'll just wait. There he goes. He decided to go to sleep, and Duncan has not quite yet decided to go to sleep, but he should be heading there relatively quick. Looks like he's walking over there now. Now, one thing to note, that the system is configured to not make them all sleep exactly at the same moment. So one guy may go to sleep, and a few moments later the other guy might go to sleep. Even if their chance is set to 100, that just confirms that both of them are going to go to sleep, but one may sleep sooner than the other. And that's what we're seeing here right now. So as you can see, Adario did go over to one of our locations and go to sleep. So he's kind of gone to sleep there. And Duncan, he has decided to go over to one of these locations as well and fall asleep. So he's gone to sleep too. Looks like both of them decided to go to this one waypoint area rather than choose different ones, but again, the more of those you place, the more locations that they have to choose from to actually go to sleep. But the point is that they won't actually collapse wherever they happen to be. They'll actually do whatever they can to head to one of those waypoints, and forced to go there. If they can't make it for whatever reason, they'll be teleported. And there we go. There's the Adario weird animation bug that I've seen a couple of times. It seems to be him. Duncan doesn't seem to have this issue for some reason. It's always Adario. If I change Adario's character model to be someone else, there's a good chance this won't happen. It just happens to be something to do with the models. I'm not really sure what it is, but there it is. So you can see there's Z's over them, so they are indeed asleep. So that is pretty much it. You basically take all of that and you kind of put it all together and make you can make a pretty interesting area. We've only done a little camp here, but you can see this on a larger scale, I hope, and have a bustling village. We're going to move along to the next section, and that is more combat oriented, because the AI does take care of combat as well. There's not a lot of combat options, but as you can see, when I do enter combat with some of these creatures I'm going to set up in the next couple of videos, they do behave a little bit more intelligently. But we do have some control over that. So we're going to go back to the tool set now and get rid of this little group of people here and set up some monsters for us to fight. So we'll see you back in the tool set.